Hi, welcome back to the channel, TrainStation 2. Alright, finally I found my last rare train and I'm happy to get first in this Train Tycoon mini event. As usual, you'll find someone really familiar, best friend here, Musky. I've been following in the same group since the whole of Japanese events, and I never expect to meet him again in this mini Tycoon event itself. So this video will be relatively longer than usual because I wanted to show you the whole progress itself, and I tend to have set the pace of this video at a slightly faster pace, otherwise it will be too lengthy for a video of this length already. So bear with me. I mean, at the end of the day, in this video you watch me claim that last rare train that I found. I'm really happy with that. Of course, you asked me how do I prepare for this Train Tycoon mini event. You should actually watch the previous video whereby I did mention about getting the factories all the way filled to the brim. I did also mention that do not upgrade the trains even though you can. Wait until you are instructed to do so, as well as do not upgrade your population in terms of all those building requests, only when you are requested to do so. So these are the two things that we can do, and of course most importantly, have the good number of metal keys, whereby then they'll be asked. So I did spend quite a fair bit, I think almost like 1,000 metal keys in this whole mini Tycoon Train Tycoon event that you can see here, and along the way we gain quite a number of common trains as expected, I must say. And of course, when you do claim those 4 capacity common trains, they are actually easier to upgrade in terms of the trains itself. So there will be requests like, for example, upgrade 3 trains. Definitely you can upgrade that 4 to 7 capacity. It'll be so much easier. And of course, as I said, keeping all the items in the factory, do not collect them until you are being asked to, actually assisted in getting a lot of these stars. So this is really something that you got to do. And like I said, spending metal keys. As for those whistles, there are 2 types. One is 4, and I think that's the easiest. I think the hardest is about 12. If you could dump away those 12 and just for 4, you're gonna stay in your station, be patient. Like I said, station in your station. Alright, so that's how you can get those whistles. And of course, there's also another type whereby you get all the jobs completed and do not collect until you're being asked to, because getting those jobs completed sometimes is not easy, so it's really important you do so. And along the way, you know what, I've been trying to do really those good jobs, and that allow me to claim some gems. So I'm really happy. I mean, as you know, in the Japanese event, I've spent almost all my gems on hand, and with this one mini event itself, I think my gems have went up to about 60 plus, near to 70. So I'm really glad with that. And I think the most happy thing I got to share is really ability to get that rare train. Then I realized in this 1-star container, there will not be a possibility of getting that last legendary train. The reason why is because the last legendary train is a reward in Canada for one of the jobs which I'm currently doing. Probably that would be my last job before I can complete Canada. And of course, along the way, not only would I be able to claim some commons, I did manage to claim quite a few of those rares as well. And do not be shy to dump away items in your warehouse, because you do really require those space. As you can see, space is really a concern for me, given that I have a very small population of 8,457. That only grants me a warehouse space about 3,700. So I did mention that some people, I know that they will actually have a population of like 60,000. You hear me right? 60,000. And the warehouse space is about like maybe 10 or 10 to 15,000 warehouse spacing. So that's really good in terms of that. They have like, wow, almost 5 or maybe 4 times of my warehouse spacing. They would not have to worry about not having sufficient space to pack all the event items that they created during their day break. So in between competitions, there's always a day break itself. So this is something that I always couldn't do, although I have the time and whatnot. I couldn't pack more things. As I said, I always pack the event items only. That is something that I do, but of course, if you already have a 4 times my warehouse space, you can pack anything into that warehouse. And throughout the whole competition, there's no need to do any more of those manufacturing, just deliver. So that's how that people get really fast and good. But like I said, this is a bit of regret on my own. I do not have that so core understanding of the file building technique in the upfront. So this is something I think if you could please start doing. I think every time I'll just highlight this again in all my videos, the importance of building population, because it increase your warehouse spacing. Do remember to use a file building technique. In short, lay out just 5 buildings. One special building in the center, like for example whatever building you get from the events, and then you surround by 4 common buildings, and you'll get requests of 4 every time. Those that is green tick, you can actually complete it. If not, if it's red cross, you gotta just work on them and then get the items, and then make sure it's a green tick. Then you can actually take it off and then increase the population. After sufficiency of the population increase, then you can increase your warehouse spacing. So generally that's how it works. So start doing it early, because at the early onset of the region 1 and 2, it is so much easier to do so. And of course, I did mention many times the importance of fleet size. That's why I aim to get all the trains in Canada before I move on, and I'm so glad that I'm able to do so in this episode itself. There's a rare train. It'll be the last rare train that I'm searching for so long. It is really a blessing in disguise with this mini event. I happen to get it right now, and of course there'll be one more train in order to complete the whole collection in Canada, which I definitely will be able to get it, because it is a reward in the final job. So that's being said, my whole Canadian fleet will be full again. I think I have a few regions that is not full, especially I think region 1 missing a legendary train, and then region 2, and I think that's about it. Region 3 and 4, if I'm not wrong, I've already completed. Probably one day I'll show all my trains again in all the different regions, to also remind myself what are the regions that have not fully completed the full collection. So you ask me, is it really important to collect the full collection? I think not really necessary, but it's just like a hobby. You just want to collect the full set, right? So more importantly is definitely increase the capacity size of the train. That really help. So this is also one of the reasons why I'll be able to do better during events, because of the capacity size itself of the trains. But for this mini event, it's totally opposite, because you want to use the smallest capacity train so as to stretch your limited available resources into making those deliveries, because it counts by the number of dispatch you make and not based on the quantity that's dispatched. But again, there are some of the requests that talks about the completed jobs, so those that you got to send bigger trains capacity to complete that particular job, so you can claim that star there. All right, so as again, if there's none of those requests to ask you to collect the completed jobs, then you should just leave it laying for rest, and then probably we come to it later on. So for now, like you can see all the 3 buses hanging around. Normally what I do, I will not collect them until being asked upon. So these are some of the things you can do. Of course, is to watch a video, to click it off the items that you can't do, that hasten the whole process. And along the way, you got to watch out for one thing, is the time that's stated above the jobs itself. So some jobs will take as long as even 8 hours. If not, it will be like 4 hours. Some will be 1 hour or 2 hours jobs. So if you really want to complete this dispatch, look for those 3 minutes or 1 minute or even 15 minutes jobs. That will allow you to quickly done up all those jobs and claim those stars. If you've been sending these trains for a 4-hour job, then good luck to you. Every 4 hours you can only claim 1 star. So that is not something you should be doing. Always try to send those jobs for 1 minute, 3 minutes, or even 15 minutes, or later, so I think half an hour. Okay, unless you have no choice, which means that you do not have that type of trains like common trains, there's only those that allows you to do common trains, will be the 2 hours job. Then you haven't been forced to do so. But of course, that being said, if you could actually watch a video to clear off that things that you don't want to do. So you can see here, complete 3 jobs is really tough, but because like I said, I've been saving up the 3 completed jobs up front, and that allows me to quickly claim 3 stars. So that's how I basically work and get really fast. And if those trains that's asking is just 3 trains, I'll definitely do it because it's so easy compared to 12 trains. 12 trains are the ones that actually make life really tough, unless they are available in the 1 minute or 3 minutes, then you can do the 12 trains. Alright, so this is how you gauge what is important. If it's asking for 12 legendary trains and those jobs needs 2 hours each, and then you only have 6 trains, then be good luck if you try to do that. Alright, so always check your view profile of your competitors, as you always understand, you know your enemy better, know yourself, so you know which are the ones to watch out for. But again, all this needs hard work, and definitely you need to continue working. But it's a good to sense what are the type of competitors you are facing with. For Muskie, I know him for the Japanese event. We've been fighting neck to neck for I think almost like 4 competitions. I lost 2, I won 2, and now with this mini event, I won 1. So I think this is something that I want to share. He and myself, both of us are basically free to play. So it doesn't really matter whether I win or he wins, because at the end of the day, even his win, I really appreciate and I'm really happy for him because he's a free to play. But of course, being an Android player, he has an advantage over me, which is an Apple player, because he basically have more gems from playing other games that is tied to TrainStation's rewards for gems. So this is something, the difference between us. But of course, again, he's very committed. Alright, for now, this is the happiest moment of this video. We managed to find that rare train that we're looking for and hunting up and down for. Alright, so with that, we finally have moving towards the finish completion of the whole Canadian fleet. And that being said, left with 1 more train to go, which as you can see there from that final reward of that region's job. So probably with that final reward, EMD, FT, AV there. So with that, I will have completed the whole fleet of this Canadian before I can move on to the next region. So like I said, I wanted to save a lot of keys before we move on, but unfortunately because of this mini event, we've been spending really like 1000 keys itself. But there's something glad is that because we've been progressing that well in terms of leveling up, I've been getting some keys in return, somewhat like a rebate, I believe. So with that said, managed to save about 100 plus keys. But again, as it is requested, I'll definitely do it because I want to secure this win. Of course, for that good number of epic parts is won, more importantly is that headquarter points. So headquarter points itself will have its own rewards path that I wish to claim things for. So this is something that I'll be working for. I mentioned fighting for first definitely gains a good number of those headquarter points, and if you manage to get like a so-called increased capacity to the fullest for one type of train, then it has respective headquarter points as well. So these are the few things you can get from headquarter points, including dismantling of trains and whatnot. So there's a full list of items that give you headquarter points. You can take a look at your own headquarters, and of course with that you'll progress well, and definitely with that as a progression in terms of your company. So that's how it works. I'm also quite anxious about the upcoming event. I've shown you a trailer. As to the question of which company should we choose, I'm still waiting for people to comment, so I'm not able to reply. If you're asking me of which company should you be choosing, I didn't know or wouldn't know as well, but I would prefer to choose one that a majority people will be choosing, because that way allows you to reap the maximum benefits of it. I'm still waiting for people to put their foot down and eventually make a comment, or even say that everybody just join for whichever company. If I hear that news, I definitely share with you, and then probably we can all join the same company as well. So that's for the new upcoming event, which can start 13th of March, through a couple of days, maybe 2 or 3, depending on timing. So do not be too anxious about that. For now, have a good rest before the big event starts. I'm actually quite surprised with the fact that after Peru event, the Japanese event, they came up with a new event as well. So this is something not very something that I know about developer, because from the experience of playing for this game for over a year, there have been repetitive kind of events, but this time around it seems like they have been very adventurous and been working really hard to bring us good number of new events. Otherwise, you'll be seeing old events like airport events, seaport events, and other type of events like Halloween. Well, of course, Halloween and whatnot will come later, like Christmas events will come later based on the seasons. So these are some of the real new events that we haven't been playing before, but somewhat I would say the concept's about the same. One of these events, I should remember that we got to choose a company, and then we see which company does the best, and eventually that wins it, and that's how it works. So somewhat the same, I must say, but of course I'm looking really forward to it, but meanwhile also wanting to rest so they can fight well there. And of course during competition, I do not wish to meet Mosky, who is basically, Mosky has mentioned to me as well in my YouTube channel's comments that he doesn't want to meet me either. So of course, unless developer is trying to make fun of us by grouping us together again for every single competition, that is really painful, because chasing after him is really tiring. So like here, being chased by him actually pushed me all the way to 224 at this juncture, where you can see the rest of the people is only 100 plus at max, if not even in 2 digits. But for us, we are really triple digits, and we are in the 200 region. Really unlike me, normally this mini event I wouldn't be working so hard, all thanks to my friend there. He's been chasing me so hard, that's why we just want to work that. So I managed to upgrade the level again. I said working really hard to 266 right now, and with that, with the number of stars we collected so far is 224. I'm confident we'll be able to get first at this juncture. So I've been keeping my eyes on him, and for the couple of minutes left, I just want to get a few more stars, but I don't think I can get any more from now, because 226 will be my cap. If he happens to be willing to spend gems, then I'll give it to him, alright? So meanwhile, I'll also be working on the last reward, the final reward train, the legendary train I mentioned earlier. Probably in the next video I'll be able to share with you, but for now 226 will be left to be able to stand the defense there versus 205 on Mosky, and we still have probably like 10 seconds left as what I'm speaking now. And very quickly, let's move on to see the final results, and just a couple seconds left, like 5, now 4, 3, 2, and 1. Alright, I also want to say congratulations to Mosky for getting second and a good number of those epic parts. Alright, thank you for watching. Do like and subscribe. Goodbye.